Step 5, analyzing your book of business. Before we get into all of these buttons and the areas, I do want to make you aware that there is a macro that we haven't run yet, which is the DSC tabs and associate tabs. From a regional level or a state level, you can run the DSC tabs, and what it will do is create a tab at the bottom here for every DSC in your state or region, so you can see their entire book of business from that level. At the DSC level, it would make more sense to run the associate tabs, so you can see the book of business for each one of your associates as it creates a tab for them. That's what those two items are for. In the original book of business we created, it was part of your clean. It created a tab during the clean. I had to remove it from here just for simplicity, but it's still available to you. So I'm going to cancel out of that because I'm not going to create those tabs right now. I'm going to go back to the RSC score where I put in Kelsey's information, and we'll walk through these different areas here. We have the account overview, just a total number of accounts, employees, and policyholders, and we get into large accounts. And we look at how many large accounts he has with 100 or more employees, how many are eligible for CIRAP, how many do not have dental, how many don't have life, and how many don't have short-term disability. You notice there's a button below. If I want to filter the book of business for just 100 plus employee counts, I'll click on this button here and it'll put the filters on for me. One thing you need to know is it doesn't do it for a particular individual. It does it for the entire book of business you have downloaded. So in here I will have not only Kelsey's region, I'll have my other regions as well. So if I just want to see just Kelsey's, I have to select him from this drop down list in the filters. So his is AC 909. I'll click on that, and now I'll just see Kelsey's book of business with 100 plus employees. So I'll put on the employee count for us already. If I go back to the RSC score and I choose a different one, so let's say I want to see the ones that don't have short-term disability, I'll click on this one, and again it's going to clear away the filters, and it's going to filter it for 100 plus employees and where there are 0 short-term disability policies sold. So the filter's on here and the filter's on here. You didn't have to do it yourself, but you still got to come back here and put on who you want it for. So again, I just want Kelsey, so I'll just click on the very first one there, and then it's filtered for Kelsey, 100 plus employees, and short-term disability where it equals 0. So I can go through it line by line, looking at every account and start talking about opportunity, about how we're going to walk into that door and perhaps offer short-term disability or some other products. Same is true when we do our quarter 1 is for open enrollment. So these are your pre-tax accounts that should be enrolled between weeks 2 and 14, 15 and 27, 28 and 40, and 41 through week 1. So if I click on the quarter 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's going to sort it and put the filters on, again for the entire book of business, not for Kelsey, but it'll do it for the entire book of business for quarter 1. So we're coming into quarter 2, and I want to see what ones in quarter 2 are available. And if the buttons follow the same way that they're laid out over to the left of it, so it'll be total accounts, then without dental, without cancer, without life, without critical care recovery, and without short-term disability. So if I just want to see everything in quarter 2, I'll click on the quarter 2 button. It'll put the filters on for me. And again, if I want to see just Kelsey's, I have to put the filter on manually. Other than that, everything else is done for you. So again, we could analyze what's going on, set up a game plan, when we're going to go in there and enroll these particular groups that are eligible, that have open enrollment dates that fall in the second quarter. Go back to the RSC score here. Do the same thing with the after-tax accounts. We have a line of business analysis that just kind of says this is how many accident policies are within that region, how many cancer, etc., for a total policy count. Then you compare that to what the state has, total policy count, and then you can compare how is your region doing in these different areas through a visual aid of a pie chart versus what the state has going on. The next area is how many accounts don't offer this line of business at all, whether they're pre-tax or post-tax. Not worried about employee accounts. I just want to know how many accounts do not have accident in this region. So if I want to see that list, again, click on the button. It automatically puts the filters on for me. Again, I manually have to select it for this particular region. If I wanted to drill down into this to a DSC, I'd put a filter on for that DSC in that region. So let's say I want to say Jane Potabombs as a district. It'll show me those accounts that fall under Kelsey, under Jane, that do not have accident. So I scroll to the right here, all zeros. To help me analyze the book of business. The mailer campaign. So Aflac sent out some mailers to our accounts, and they did it in 5 different waves. I put in there wave 1, and then when was it mailed? And wave 1 was mailed on January 23rd. So how many mailers were sent in his region? How many in that region have 2 months or more in activity? It's not the best, but it's the best I can do as far as trying to gauge inactivity to give us an idea about how many people purchased something. So this says, of those 100 accounts that got mailers, here's how many are still inactive beyond 2 months. So that says, subtract this from the number of mailers, gives us 13. So it says 13 purchased something, whether it was the product that we were trying to push with the mailer or not, they purchased something. How many in that quarter were pre-tax, though? So I want to know, are we missing open enrollments? Are we not missing open enrollments? What's happening? Again, it's not a perfect view, but it gives us an idea of something to look at. To the right, we have the wave. So this would show me all 100 accounts. This would show me the 87, and this would show me the 27 that are pre-tax. The product rollout is another way to look for opportunity within your book of business. According to this, critical care and recovery was rolled out back in April, so that was about 12 months ago, because it's April now. 697 accounts do not have critical care recovery and are 12 months or more inactive. I don't have a button for this one because the purple area is user defined, meaning you type in how many months it's been since then, and it'll give you an account number. I don't know how to create a button for something where it's going to change automatically. So to do that one, you'd have to do it manually. Inactive and underpenetrated, we look at 3 different categories: over 13 months inactive and less than 50% penetration, and what the total number is of all your accounts. 18, less than 50, number, what that percentage is over your total number of accounts. Over 24 months, less than, what percentage that is. If I want to see what those ones are, I just click the button and I'll put the filters on for me. Now then I look at inactive and open enrollment. I'm trying to get the number of accounts. So within quarter 1, there are 156 accounts that are inactive more than 9 months. And there are 5 that are exactly at the 13-month point. That might suggest that we may have missed an open enrollment, or we might be closing, but it gives us an idea of what's going on. So again, having conversations around those particular numbers. And then we look at how many are greater than 13 months inactive that have a pre-tax date or flex date, if you will. Broken down by quarter, and again, the buttons to the right. So you can filter it that way to see that. Here's another one that was added recently. It says, it's asking the question, do we need to reassign some of these accounts? What we're looking at is a new agent and looking at the inactive 9 to 13 weeks category. I'll run this one here because it says there's 54 accounts. So if we look at this, it's going to clear the original filters and it's going to bring back for the entire book of business. So again, I'd have to filter this down for just Kelsey's region in this example. Hit OK. We're going to go to the right here. So what I'm looking at here is this ASA active in 9 to 13 weeks. If this says no, what they're really saying here is there has been no activity from this particular agent in the last 9 to 13 weeks, so about a quarter. When I have a new associate that says no here, that might mean that they're no longer with us. So we might want to reassign some of these accounts to somebody else. If I have a yes in the 8 weeks but a no in the 9 to 13 weeks, it could mean that this person's brand new and they just started, so they're active within the last 8 weeks, but we didn't quite have them for a quarter yet. So I probably don't need to reassign some of these. Again, it's just a view to help you analyze what's going on in your book of business. Go back to the RC scorecard here. The last piece is this scenario builder. It's not the most accurate, but it gives us an idea of the potential that's out there within our current account list. So we look at accounts and then we look at eligible employees. So those are the two main categories. Look at if every account, so all, add at least one policy at $550 AP per policy, what would that mean? It's there to grab your attention and let you know there is great opportunity out there. These buttons were added in order to help you get the different views of your book of business without having to be an Excel guru. That's the Book of Business App Killer version 3. I hope you guys enjoy the new additions. Thanks everybody.